Okay? So I started to educate myself, and I developed theories on foot function. Once I developed the theories on foot function, I ran into a problem, because I quickly realized that expansion and contraction, which is what we always say we want, and the big argument with the farriers is that we get expansion and contraction because we don't put the nails behind the widest part of the foot.
Sure.
Expansion and contraction isn't what's needed. What's needed is distortion. Because as we get distortion, we get pressure being distributed evenly throughout the whole foot, which causes the growth. Well, here I am. I spent 2 years as a blacksmith working for peanuts, and now I come out and I just paid a very high tuition to learn a very important lesson, that I can't use steel shoes. So what do I do now? So I turn around and I spend the next year and a half developing theories and methods to treat the foot shoeless to get the kind of foot I need for the disciplines I was working in.
That's great.
And we were working in some pretty tough disciplines. You know, you need, and it's still, we're not totally against shoes. There are going to be occasions when you have to have shoes.
Sure.
I mean, this is domestication. You know, if you want to enjoy your horse in the disciplines you're in, there may be some time when you need some type of application, whether it's a boot, or we have our new Perfect Hoof Wear. You're familiar with that.
Sure,
we use that on 2 of your horses.
Exactly.
And it's simply a custom flexible hoof wear we use. So that's kind of can be developed based on the science.
Well, fantastic. Well, you know, it sounds like what you've gone through in your life has been kind of mirrored in mine and the way I train and what I've done, and the reason why I've taken on these, you know, as a behaviorist to do what I do today. So, well, let's talk some more, but I got to take a break. So maybe we'll go take a look at the horses and all that kind of stuff. We'll get back. So you guys stick around.
Get the very best step-by-step guide to helping you and your horse. Get Ryan's new book called Beyond a Whisper. No matter the issues you face, nationally acclaimed equine behaviorist Ryan Gingerich has over 20 years of horse training and encapsulated it in one book called Beyond a Whisper. Years of horse training experience, methods based in science and not old-fashioned cowboy tricks. Real help with proven results. Order Ryan's new book now and save. Order online at ryangingerich.com. Does your horse spook or jump at nearly everything? Stop that spooky, nervous behavior today. Teach your horse to be calm and quiet and get back in the saddle safely again. Horse expert Ryan Gingerich offers real help with proven results. Equine expert Ryan Gingerich has traveled the nation helping thousands of spooky horses. Help for you and your horse is just a phone call away. Order now by calling 800-359-4090 or by going online to ryangingerich.com.
Your horses will love Winnie's cookies. There are no preservatives or chemicals in these all-organic cookies, and they're shipped fresh right from our ovens to your barn. Packed with vitamins and minerals, Winnie's cookies work like a supplement, taste like a treat. For a free sample of Winnie's cookies, call 800-810-9466. That's right. You get a free sample by simply calling 800-810-9466.
Welcome back. Casey and I are going to show you now what he does and how he marries that science and tradition together with his applied equine podiatry, correct?
Sure. Why don't we take a look over here? I'm gonna. We've got a class going on where we've got about 17 students, which means we've got 8 horses on the, around the yard here. And what I'm going to do is go to each one, and I'm going to. They're learning the method of applied equine podiatry, and the method called the HPT method, high performance trim method, is what they're learning.
Sure.
So Dwight, why don't you, if you don't mind, I'm going to get in here. Now Dwight here is a apprentice farrier, and he's been working for quite a while doing that. We find it sometimes when we talk about conventional farrier sciences, we do things a little differently, and I know it's a lot of times it's harder for someone that knows the traditional methods to learn what we're doing. But I'm going to show you what we were doing. You were working on hind flare, and I just want to show you something. And what we do, Ryan, is we do take and use conventional methods for getting under the horse. And when it comes to your behavior, this is so important. You know how always how you're teaching, make sure a horse knows you're there, and all the behavioral aspects of it. But what we find is when we're getting under a horse, if we always let him know where we're at, and if you just turn the head away from me when I go towards his hind end, that'll keep his hind end this way, and we'll be able to get under his hind end. Now what we can do is I'm going to bring his head towards his foot towards his head. Now, so we don't get way under him, Dwight. Come on over here. So what I want to do is I'm going to grab the toe here, grab here. So now I go to the foot as opposed to bringing the foot to my body. So I'm going to bring it here and then bring myself in so I can do it, as opposed to getting here and being in an unsafe place where he can lock up and pull me up under him. Okay, so you might want to try that. Okay, but what we're doing is we're establishing a vehicle for stimulus by getting balance of hoof to foot within.
Okay. And you're doing that by marking the foot? I see there's lots of
there's,
marks on the hooves
there's
there,
a lot of marking up. We might be able to see it on another horse that they're just starting on. We'll see the bottom marks. What he's marking here is he's marking where the flare is on the foot. And where the flare begins, or bending of the hoof wall, that has to be removed. So what he's done is he's found out where the flare is, and you can see my fingers start to go out there. So that's flare. We want to have a consistency down the wall so that we have consistency and distortion.
Right.
So he's marked it so he knows that he has to take that down smooth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of you guys noticed that Tim was in the shot there a little earlier. Tim was one of my guys here. He's my assistant trainer, and he was one of your...
He won our scholarship. We have a scholarship each year, and there's only one person that's eligible for the scholarship, and we get quite a few applying, and he did a wonderful job on an essay, and we're really excited to have him in the school.
Yeah. Good job. Get to work.
Yeah. Now this horse, like I said, we got a lot of rescues here.
Right. Yeah, he looks kind of scrawny.
Yeah, he just came in a little while ago. We get quite a few neglected horses, and you know, when their nutrition is very poor, coats, you know, they don't shed, and they have all kinds of problems. So we deal with feet.
Yeah. How does the? I mean, obviously, nutrition has a direct effect on how the.
Oh, absolutely. You know, they're very good here. Morgan Silver is the director here. Really knows how to feed them well. In 90 days, she'll have these horses turned around. But we battle with the problem with the feet for a very long time. Also, you can see, you know, a lot of people would think that maybe the behavior is a problem here because he doesn't want to stand. Well, the horse is sore, and the students learn how to use the anatomy to their advantage.
Sure.
Okay, you know, any tips you can give us on behavioral and getting these horses to stand quiet as far as the handler and the trimmer would be greatly appreciated. I can get them in the right position, but as far as handler, you know, behavior, it's not my specialty. But
sure. Now, what do you do now, just for the question here, what do you do if this horse was to begin to kick, and I forget this lady's name here.
Pam.
Pam. We'll start to kick Pam, and what would, and your name was? Susan. What would Susan need to do to get to that? What do you teach your handlers?
Susan should be actually on this side of the horse, Susan. We're going to put you here. So if something happens there, she can quickly move the head
the other way,
bring the hind end away. For as far as Pam goes, Pam knows that if she simply turns in, the leg's off her leg and down, and she's always taught to have her arm positioned to ward off any blows. Good.
Yeah. The other thing that I would probably suggest is that, I mean, it's part of what I teach is what I call deletion, you know, and that is actually backing the horse away. So immediately you're forcing the horse, the weight back on the hips, and they can't get that leg up as easy, and still could if they needed to, but it'd be a lot easier than to say, you know, like here, I would force the horse backwards instead of allowing him to go away, because every time the horse moves away, he's going to continue on that process.
Why don't we swap you out with Susan and see if it happens again, and if that's the case, is that all right, Susan?
Yeah.
Thanks. So Pam, like right here, I'm going to basically say to the horse, you know, just go ahead and stand still. And all I'm trying to do is get the horse just to stand still so you can get underneath him and be safe.
Right.
So what we're going to do, and I've done this with Tim quite a bit at our place, most of my horses stand pretty good, but he's going to basically pick up your foot, and if the horse was beginning to move away, all I want you to do is drop it. Do what Casey teaches you, and you know, block yourself so you don't get hit. And I'm just going to take the horse and force him backwards, okay? And then I'm going to say, now come on back up forward again, and stand still. And the entire time I might be just patting the horse, just reassuring him that, you know, that I'm here.
So put it down.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely.
Okay, so here, I can block the horse here by saying, up, stop your feet. All right, go at it again.